The good old days are coming back, and well, who could we get for the good old days? I don't know. What about Bernie Clifton and Bobby Crush? Welcome to the show. How you doing?
How very kind. Absolutely splendid, thank you. We're of a vintage where we can actually rightly be in a show now that's called The Good Old Days.
I know, and it's wonderful. And that phrase you used to introduce us was, let's start, see what happens. It's so evocative of my honeymoon. I just think it's a fantastic phrase. Let's start, see what happens. Bobby, it reminds me of the first time we worked together in Western Supermare at the Pier Theatre.
Oh God, I'm still having the flashbacks. And do you know it's 42 years ago this year, 1979?
Wow.
Well, so I was still at school then.
Listen, if that was the case, I wasn't even born at that point. There we are.
It was great. It was a wonderful reprise, if you like, a memory reprise in Variety, because it was a proper variety show, and that's why I know that we're both thrilled about going back to the City Varieties in Leeds, because it's musical variety. It's just it's like a flagship theatre, isn't it?
It certainly is. It's I mean, I remember seeing you. I don't know if I can admit to remember seeing you on the telly with that Ostrich on the City Varieties all those years ago. It was an iconic moment.
I think that was probably my dad.
He was a lot faster in those days, wasn't he? That Ostrich.
Yeah.
You can't get out of first gear.
Yeah.
But no, the great thing, the great anniversary for me, apart from really looking forward to that dream venue at the City Varieties, it will be exactly 50 years since I first appeared there on The Good Old Days, my very first TV appearance on The Good Old Days, and wow. Les Dawson was topping the bill, and he gave me some wonderful advice. He said, retire.
He said, don't give up your day job.
he said get out now while you're ahead, he said. And it's exactly 50 years to the week since wow. I first appeared on stage. So I'm absolutely thrilled.
With Les Dawson. Interesting, because Les Dawson, I was talking to my dad, who's in showbiz as well, and doesn't work in showbiz anymore, but he was at Les Dawson's first audition tape for television, because he was a technical guy, and he was pulled into the studio. The producer said, he got a moment, and he came in and just recorded Les Dawson's audition tape back in the day over in Manchester, and from that audition tape he became a superstar. So I'm claiming that my dad discovered Les Dawson.
It's just as well that your dad didn't record my first tape, because I would have disappeared without trace.
Well, it's Les.
It was Les at that evening in Barney's Bar after the TV show in September 1971, that said to me, you really ought to find your own direction. And the phrase he used was to plough your own furrow. So I went out and got a job on a farm, but he did say, find your own identity. And I told him I love working with props and visual. He said, well, why don't you just go out and be a visual comic? And I did. And over the years, and Les and I became great friends. He used to wink and say, I put you right there, didn't he? And he did, and I owe him such a lot. So it's quite poignant in a way, as being a great rejoicing of live variety theatre.
Yeah, well, City Varieties, that was the live variety there. I mean, and we could talk about. I guess he's kind of half brought up these props, hasn't he, Bobby? And he's obviously angling for the Ostrich, I think, at this point, isn't he? He's angling Ostrich way, I think.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder whether Bernie actually thanks Les Dawson for that advice when he's filling his van for every gig. I mean, when you see Bernie arrive for an engagement, it's like a jumble sale like you've never believed. He comes out with the Ostrich, but there's also poles and a diving suit and fire extinguishers and all sorts. It's just absolute madness. Of course, I turn up, and so long as there's a piano there, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I think I got the good end of the deal. But
so when you turn up, but without the piano, and there's a piano on stage, I guess there's pianos and pianos out there, aren't there, Bobby?
Well, I always have it written into my contract that it has to be a piano of a certain vintage and tuned to concert pitch on the day of the show. When I go to the City Varieties, because the size of the stage is so small, they're bringing on what they call a Yamaha Grand Touch piano, which is an electric piano but has a weighted keyboard. So it feels like you're playing a proper piano and it sounds like you're hearing a proper piano, but it's all electric. So this is new to me. Of course, I'm just a dear old-fashioned piano thumper from way back. I know all about acoustic pianos, but this is a new deal for me. But by adapting and playing this kind of instrument, it means that I can now go into venues like the City Varieties that previously weren't able to provide a grand or a baby grand piano. It's one of the reasons that I never did the TV show. Because I mean, I've played the venue in a live situation in Variety and in concerts and stuff, but I never got to do the TV show because the piano was always the problem.
Yeah.
Getting it on and off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so now you're on the City Variety. You're both doing a weekend each, so you're never seen in the same room at the same time. For some reason, there's legal reasons for that.
Well, yes, I've had it written into my contract. Because of course, apart from the fact that Bernie and I did the summer season in Weston-super-Mare, of course, we also had that occasion a couple of years ago when we did Las Vegas together. So
that was a classic TV show. That was the must-watch TV show of that year. You guys out in Las Vegas, and it was such fun because it was full of fraught with emotion. The whole thing, some highs and some, and it was such a shame that shooting took place a few days before you were due to go on, and it took the shine off the show a little bit at the end of that it had been building up to. But what was that like, sort of living with a pile of experienced performers together?
Challenging. That's the word I'd use. Challenging.
I think the great moment really was, it started at when we all met. All the artists that go into Vegas, they decided that we would all meet with the Las Vegas producer in Wigan. And we all turned up at this big rehearsal room in Wigan, and this producer walked in, Frank Marino, and it was like it was a meeting. It wasn't a meeting, it was like a collision of cultures, because he looked at, for instance, when it came to me and he saw me on the Ostrich rehearsing, he just looked and went, "What?" And I thought that, well, this has started well. And he really believed, and I know Bobby will endorse this, he really believed, Frank Marino, at the start, that it was going to be a car crash with his name on it. And he was absolutely paranoid. Fortunately, as things worked out, he was proved wrong. He came back, we all got standing ovations, and he came backstage afterwards in tears and admitted that his experience at Vegas didn't prepare him for what was to come from the Brits. So it was a riot of success, Bobby, wasn't it?
I love the fact that he kept referring to your ostrich as the chicken.
The chicken.
He said, I just don't get it. I don't get the chicken.
He said, I remember this once, he said, this is Vegas. He said, we're going to put a big headdress on the chicken, be like a showgirl. And I went, it's a bloke, it's not a girl. But it was a triumph for all of us. And talk about having it on your bucket list to actually been to Vegas and got that reaction. The only downside, I think, Bobby, was the fact that I flooded our dressing room. We shared a dressing room, and I flooded it, didn't I, Bob?
You did indeed. I remember this so well. I'm in the dressing room with you, and I'm helping you put your bow tie on. And I said, Bernie, can you hear water? Can you hear What's that I can hear in the background? And I looked down and the carpet was flooded, and we had like a little ensuite bathroom attached to the dressing room. They'd only gone and left the bloody taps running, hadn't they? So, of course, mayhem. I mean, we were both of us due to go on stage in about 10 minutes. And all of a sudden, we're in like an Olympic-sized swimming pool.
Yeah, it's Clifton. Come join Clifton on his world tour. There's a tsunami of every venue.
But we managed to get through. But as Bernie says, it was a terrific experience. And of course, when you get to our age, you think that something like that. Well, I mean, some of us are a little younger than others.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, I was 64, and I think, Bernie, you were heading for
107.
But what I was trying to say is that you get to that stage in your life and you think something like that's passed you by. You know, I've had a lovely career, and I played the Palladium and I've had gold discs and all of that, and it's been marvelous. But at no point did I ever think that somebody would come to me and say, we're thinking of taking a group of entertainers who have never played in Vegas to make their debuts in America. How do you feel about it? And I mean, who's likely to say no to that? I mean, I don't know, Bernie, about you, but I mean, I had no doubt that I wanted to be a part of it, and I pushed for it, and I pushed for it.
It was a dream, as you say, after so many years of doing whatever. And Bobby and I have worked on cruise ship. We worked several times on the QE2, and so we've been around the block a few times, and I think that experience stood us in good stead in Vegas. But to have actually ticked that last box, and hopefully we're still here. We're still, personally, I'm still nuisance value, as they say, and to return to the City Varieties in all its glory since it's been refurbished. I can't wait.
What do we get at the good old days show then? The audience, am I expected to come dressed up with a hat on and an old time gear? What's the deal with the audience? Can I come in my jeans and t-shirt?
Yeah, just come as you are in that 50s look you've adopted. No, there actually are prizes, and of course, if you contact the theatre, they'll give you the details. The people that make the effort, each of us have got 2 performances there: a Friday evening and a Saturday matinee. Mine's 17th and 18th. Bobby's is 24th, 25th. But it's not only the costume, but it's the atmosphere that the venue and the theatre generates. It's an absolute joy. Not only as an entertainer, but to be there in the audience. It's such a wonderful, intimate venue, isn't it, Bobby?
It's wonderful. And as you say, dressing up is encouraged, but it's not obligatory. But
you'll be dressing up, Bobby.
Well, yes, I shall be bringing my Balenciaga. And but yeah, like Bernie was saying, it's a real return to good old variety. We will have a chairman, we will have a master of ceremonies like there used to be on the TV show, and each of us has got a bill that has singers, dancers. In my case, I've got a magician on my bill. I've got a ventriloquist on the bill. It's true variety. It's an attempt to put together a variety bill like you very rarely see these days. So we're both of us really looking forward to it.
It's going to be a great night, that's for sure.
Well, like I said, I do the 17th and 18th, and Bobby follows the weekend. And if you don't like my show, you can go and see Bobby's show, and he spends the whole evening apologising for me. So it's a great season. And as Bobby's just said, I've got Andy Eastwood. We've got the same chairman, but Andy Eastwood, who is a virtuoso ukulele banjo player, and Jan Hunt, of course, who I was with on Crackerjack, and Jan is co-producing.
Crackerjack.
Yes, it's Friday. It's 5 to 5. So there is seriously, there's something for everybody of all generations, I think, to enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be fantastic. And you know, you've been part of our lives for well, quite a few years now, for a while.
Well, Next year is my 50th year in the business, because
Wow.
I did Opportunity Knocks September 1972. So this time next year will be my 50th anniversary.
Have you still got the same bow tie that you had in Opportunity Knocks?
Well, actually, it wasn't bow ties that I was well known for. It was those frilly shirts.
Those frilly cuffs, yeah.
Hold on.
Oh, he's got one. He's got a frilly cuff.
I've got. There you are. Hold on.
Oh,
Now you know.
Look at that. That's a good look. That is that you look just the same, Bobby.
Well, kind of. 50 years
Bobby,
on.
you couldn't spot the difference. I don't show you. I'm going to go and get one myself, right?
Okay. Oh yeah. You're going to go and get a picture of himself from way back, because it was 6 weeks on Opportunity Knocks, wasn't it? It was amazing.
It was, and it was a terrific springboard for a new performer. And from that, I got my first recording contract. And by the time I was 18 and a bit, I found myself with an album in the charts, a single in the charts, and a season at the London Palladium. Now, you know, how many television shows today would have the same kind of impact? And remembering, of course, that there were only 3 stations at that point as well. There was BBC One, BBC Two, and ITV. So, of course, the viewing audience was not as diluted as it is now with all the satellite stations. But, I mean, we were getting 14, 15 million people a week. And it was a great start for a career.
Yeah.
I'm always very grateful to Huey Green and the team.
I'm eager to see the picture of Bernie Clifton now. Here we go.
Can I just say that no animals were harmed in the taking of this photograph?
Yeah, here we go.
This was the time when I was Bernie Clifton, boy singer, and my card said, vocal comedy, your entertainment guaranteed, own transport. Because if you worked the clubs and you had your own transport, it meant you could do the last spot once you're working all the pit villages, because the last bus went back to Doncaster at 9:30. So to say on transport, here it comes, be brave.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. Bobby, describe that to us.
Well, it's like Val Doonican on acid, isn't it, really?
That's very suave. I've never looked at you so suave. That's amazing.
You see, I still have the stool, actually.
I still have the stool, not the suit.
Only the stool hasn't changed.
It's still attached, is it?
So it's a great. I know it's a familiar phrase, but it is a great journey, and I just feel privileged to have been around for so long and to have all the joy of performing in so many different venues. And I keep saying it, but to come back to the City Varieties in Leeds, it's an absolute joy. Especially because of the circumstances over the last couple of years, to see it reopen with a music hall season, which, if you mention the theatre's name, that's to a lot of people, that's exactly what it means. It means music hall, variety. And I'm just thrilled to be going back. I can't wait. The
Ostrich, I presume, makes an appearance.
I have to get a permit from the Royal Society for the Protection of Cruelty Birds, and I then have to produce the ostrich, who was put out to grass at the beginning of lockdown, and he hasn't been seen since. But we actually have some evidence that he's down there in the meadow. I can't tell you what the evidence. I can't tell you what the evidence is, but it should be obvious. So I plan to go and round him up on the evening of the 16th of September, lasso him, I think, and take him to Leeds. I'm not quite sure whether he'll be able to get out of first gear, because he developed, as Bobby knows, he developed some varicose veins, and was it a verruca that he had on his hoof? I can't remember.
I think he also took to wearing socks and Crocs, didn't he, at some point?
Socks and Crocs. So the Ostrich will be making an appearance, but don't hold your breath. You'll have plenty of time because of his he's walking now with a swinging gait. And all the cows have escaped. So yeah, he'll be part of it. But as Bobby mentioned earlier, there will be various other sort of. I think I'm probably moving into satire now in my middle years. There'll be the inflatable diving suit. There'll be the tribute to John Hanson. Will I be dancing in biscuit tins? I'm not sure, but there's something for everybody.
Do I remember you in a trombone and England football team or something, and in the World Cup or something? That was a few years ago, but there was something.
I've travelled alone with a slide trombone. It's a remarkable, bizarre chapter. The fact that somebody heard me. I was on Radio Sheffield, and I always had a trombone in the studio for comic effect, and they assumed I could play the trombone. Yeah. And I ended up traveling the world.
I've got a trumpet here, actually, if you want. I've got a trumpet. I've got a trumpet. I'll go and find it for you if you like.
Come on, please. Can you give us a few words?
Hold a minute, I can go and find a trumpet.
It's not like you've shown your LP. Ah, there it is.
Hold a minute. Okay, I've not had it out for a few months, not had a trumpet out, but there's
no answer to that.
There we go.
So, if you're going to bump it with a trumpet.
Yeah, okay.
Are you actually going to play it, I hope?
Yeah, give it a blast if you like, yeah, name that tune. Okay.
I think it's very brave of you to follow Bobby's LP cover and my 1960s press photograph for you to play the trumpet.
Here we go, all right, okay.
Here we go.
To be honest, the valves don't work anymore, so I can only play one note.
Did you say valve or valve?
Yes. Not val. Okay. But I need to oil it. I need to put it in the bath. You need to put the trumpet in the bath.
That's another. Is that a euphemism?
No, you can. Because the valves don't work, so you can't stick them down anymore because I've not played it for a while. You have a bath with your trumpet, and you get a thing. And you give it a squirt, give it a little and it all comes free. And try it. Pretty the same with the trombone, actually. Stick the trombone in the bath. It'd be good.
Listen, can I just say that many aspects of my life you could be described as sad, but to see me in a bath with my trombone would be the lowest of them all. Maybe I'll try it one day.
Well, we've now got a hot tub at the Watt household, and occasionally I do get my trumpet out in my hot tub.
Well, they can't touch you for it.
Oh, do you know what? I bet the Queen Mother would have loved that phrase.
Society entertainer.
So, is there any chance of you two ever appearing together in real life?
I don't think so. No.
Well, there's only a week between us in September at the City Varieties. You could pop up early just to absorb the atmosphere, and I could come back on a week later to collect the last of my props.
Well, the whole reason that I couldn't do the 17th and 18th is because I'm already doing a cabaret in London. Otherwise, I might have done just that, Mr. Clifton. Actually, I think at some point we should do the BC show. You, me, Barry Quire, and Brian Conley. There we are, all on one.
Yeah, there we go. That'd be good.
The BC show.
That's a great idea, because I sent a letter out to Barbara Cartland, but she never replied.
Have you heard her sing? The album's wonderful.
I believe she was last seen in the bath with a pink trombone, apparently.
Are you doing panto this year, or is that planned, or no panto this year for you guys?
Bobby, go on.
I'm doing panto. Yes,
yep.
I'm giving my widow Twanky in Aladdin at the New Theatre in Peterborough with Rufus Hound.
Oh yeah.
Playing my nemesis Abanazar, and it's his first panto, and it's my 37th. For real.
You can tell him the way. You can tell the 37th panto. Because you're both. Are you pantoing this year, Bernie, or not this year?
I just say that I've been inundated with an offer, and my people are just considering it. We're talking to their people about it, and it's a pretty late. It'll be one of the hope, because my favourite of all was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. And it's because it's such a great visual. And I always remember driving to Newark to the theatre, it'd be 5 years ago now, and without thinking, I actually ran into the back of a car, and one of the dwarfs got out. And I said, "I'm terribly sorry." I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Well, I'm not happy." I said, "Well, which one are you then?"
There's no business like
there we go.
business.
And there's more like that. City Varieties. It's the 17th, 18th with Bernie, and the 24th, 25th with Bobby. They're gonna be a great night. It's gonna be just fantastic. We're gonna.
Well, as you will have realised, both Bernie and I are really, really looking forward to our weekends at the City Varieties. Very much so.
Lovely to talk to you guys, and love to see you so well. And next time I'm in Las Vegas, I'll check you out as well to see if you've got another return trip there, because that would be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, please, yeah. Never give up. That's the trick, isn't it?
Yeah, keep breathing. That's always a plan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Lovely to talk to you guys. Thank you very much.
Okay, lovely. So it's 17th and 18th, City Varieties Leeds for me, 24th and 25th for Bobby, the BC season.
The BC takeover.
The BC takeover. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's great. And thank you very much as well. Thank you very much for that. That was absolutely super.